Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert police have arrested one woman and are still looking for a second after a vehicle reported stolen ended up in the river. The initial call came in just after 2 o'clock this morning, saying a person was robbed of her vehicle at gunpoint on 2nd Avenue East. Shortly after that, officers found the vehicle near Marquis Road East and 4th Avenue East. They tried to stop it, but the vehicle took off. Police pursued the vehicle, which then drove into the water. The 22-year-old woman driving the vehicle was taken to hospital for minor injuries before being taken into custody. Police are still looking for the woman who was a passenger in the vehicle. The Saskatchewan Serious Incident Response Team is investigating the officer's involvement prior to the vehicle plunging into the water. Cabin owners at Lenore Lake have been trying to mitigate damage from flooding, but they're concerned some of it may be irreversible. The RM of Lake Lenore says this water level is unprecedented and wants more involvement from the Water Security Agency. The WSA says it's working with the RM of 3 lakes, the RM of Lake Lenore, and the town of St. Brew to monitor water levels and provide technical support. Lenore Lake is at its highest level recorded since monitoring began in 1995. Shelley Betker is worried she and her family may lose their cabin of almost 20 years.
The water table is 4 inches lower than our cabin floor, which now their water is seepage coming through. So our foundation is cracked. We've got a bow in our wall. We've got shifting all over the cabin.
The RM of 3 lakes says the culverts it maintain funneling water out of the lake are already open and operating as it designed. Data from Saskatoon police show bear spray incidents are down compared to this time last year. Police recorded 137 bear spray incidents from January to May of this year, which is down by about 100 incidents from the same time in 2025. Police say one reason for the decline is a bylaw implemented last summer that changed how bear spray is bought and sold. Under the new rules, bear spray cannot be publicly displayed. The buyer must be 18 years or older, producing 2 pieces of ID, and provide their name, date of birth, and address. One officer says the bylaw was implemented in an effort to deter people from misusing the product.
So any of those individuals who are purchasing it and likely for its unintended use have to realize that they have to produce the ID for it as well as the sale is being recorded.
In 2025, there were 495 total bear spray incidents, while the number sits at about 141 so far this year. Saskatoon's homelessness and addictions crisis is having a major impact on the downtown core, and community officers walking the beat say they're always busy. After the closure of Prairie Harm Reduction earlier this year, they say homelessness and addiction is more visible than ever. The first point of contact, alternative response police officers walking the beat downtown. Police are no longer dealing with social disorder with enforcement alone, and while people notice homelessness more than they do before, there are success stories they don't see.
People have had success stories in getting into a detox center and getting clean and sober, which is really amazing. I do think that the complex needs facility helps a lot in that, and also the brief detox unit as well. Just getting people connected with those resources really makes a big difference.
Starting as a pilot project in 2021, there are now 13 alternative response officers working as a permanent unit, patrolling downtown Saskatoon and Riversdale. Police are investigating a stabbing on a Saskatoon transit bus. It happened at 3rd Avenue and 23rd Street yesterday morning at about 8:30. A 29-year-old woman told officers she was in a fight with another woman she knows and was stabbed. The suspect left before police arrived. The victim's injuries were not life-threatening. A second person has been charged in a homicide in Saskatoon's Meadow Green neighborhood. On April 9th, Saskatoon police found a 39-year-old man unresponsive in the 500 block of Avenue X South. He died of his injuries in hospital. A 21-year-old woman was arrested yesterday at Pine Grove Correctional Center. She's charged with assault offenses, unlawful confinement, and uttering threats. Earlier this week, police charged a 27-year-old man in connection to the homicide. Both suspects are now before the courts. Boy, that wind was brisk this morning, Jeff. Certainly didn't feel like we were getting 13 or 14 or 15 hours of sun in the day.
Well, you know, certainly the windy conditions didn't make the morning pleasant. It's been a windy afternoon as well, John. We had anticipated strong winds, no sustained winds are in the 30 to 40 kilometer an hour mark. But what we did talk about was the fact that this system that was giving us so many issues the last couple of days, that continues to move out of the way. Actually, it's sort of anchored there, but sort of the backhand side of it is impacting other parts of Western Canada and the United States. But along this area, this trough line, we've got some instability there that extends from Alberta into Saskatchewan. So there's still some isolated showers out there, but slowly but surely things are calming down. We'll talk about that later on.
Broken glass has littered the grounds of Government House following Tuesday night's hailstorm. The roof of the 125-year-old conservatory suffered extensive damage. About a dozen windows in the main building were smashed during the storm. The area has been cordoned off to protect visitors. Flower gardens, on the property were also destroyed by the hail, and they will have to be replanted. There does not appear to be any significant damage to the interior of the building. Premier Scott Moe is the third most popular premier in the country, according to a new poll. A survey done by Angus Reid Institute shows Moe has a 50% approval rating. Wab Kinew in Manitoba is the most popular provincial leader in the country, enjoying a 62% approval rating. BC's David Eby is second lowest at 31%, and the least popular premier is Doug Ford with 21% approval. The survey was conducted online May 7th to 11th and has a margin of error of plus or minus 2 percentage points 19 times out of 20. Before the storms hit Saskatchewan, farmers were able to hit the fields with now 93% of seeding complete across the province. That's just behind the 5-year average of 97%, according to the latest crop report. 97% of durum and 96% of spring wheat seeding is finished. Canola is at 93% seeded, while 86% of flax has been put in the ground. Recent rain means more than 3/4 of cropland are seeing adequate moisture. Some damage was caused by hail, flooding, along with gophers, flea beetles, and cutworms.
Yeah, so last week there was kind of a storm systems go throughout Saskatchewan, and the southeast and the east central region were hit particularly hard by those. So some areas received significant amounts of rain, which caused flooding. There was a little bit of hail and some wind damage.
There is still hope that producers can finish up seeding in the next week. When we come back, your chance to try rowing for free this weekend. Jasmine Pelche finds out about the event at Waka Lake.
Joining me is Gilbert from the Prince Albert Rowing Club to talk about the upcoming Come Try Rowing event. Hi, Gilbert. How's it going?
Hi, Jasmine. Pretty good.
What exactly is a Come Try Rowing event?
It's a day that we invite people to come and try the sport of rowing. So we bring a couple of boats to different places. In this case, it's going to be in the Waka Lake. And we invite people to come and try the sport of rowing. That is something that most people know, or mistake what rowing is. Some people confuse it with kayaking. Some people think it's like when you go in your big boat to fishing. But this is more of the sport of rowing with more competitive boats. So yeah, we invite people to come and try if they like to row in a competitive way.
For the Come Try Rowing event, who is it for?
We want everybody to show up. It's open to everybody's age 11 and up. That's the only requisite. Otherwise, we invite everybody's Indigenous, LGBTQ. Everybody's welcome, no matter where they come from, newcomers, recent immigrants, or people who's been here forever. They more than welcome to come and try.
So if somebody has never been around water or been on a boat for recreational purposes before, are there any steps that are being taken to make sure that participants who aren't super experienced around the water are staying safe the whole time?
Well, the first thing we ask is they should know how to swim in case of any accidents. If you don't know how to swim, we can provide you with some safety vests. But the ideal is you know how to swim. We have the safety vest for some people that they don't feel comfortable going into the lake. We also have some little rescue boat, like a little tiny fishing boat that we can help participants when they or get tired far away from the shore, or they just need some extra help.
Do people have to register in advance?
Yes, we ask for registration in advance. That is mostly because they have to be signed a waiver. And but you can show up that day, and if we have a space, you can gladly do it in there. You can sign your waiver on site. But ideally, it's if you register in advance, so we have the spot secure for you. We only have 8 spots per session.
So in terms of the plan for a session, is there sort of a dry land orientation before you get in the boat, or how does that work?
Yeah, it depends on the level of confidence of each participant. Some are more confident to go into the water. Some are a little bit more scared about that. We usually set up one of the boats outside in land so they can just practice the basics and how to keep balance and how the movement is. And then the next step, we just put it right there into the shore, and we just hold the boat with a rope so they can practice the stroke without going far away and practice the level and balance. And once they're comfortable, we let them go and do whatever they want to around the lake, which is they can go and row for a little bit.
What are some of the benefits of learning how to row, at least at a beginner level?
Well, the benefits of beginning level is just to practice a sport that probably you haven't practiced before, something that is not very popular sport, so we're trying to make it popular. Maybe you want to try it, and once you try it, then you like it, and then make it more competitive. But yeah, it's a nice activity for beginning levels just to keep moving.
When is it?
Friday is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have one session on Friday at 6 p.m. We have 3 sessions on Saturdays. The first one starts at 9, and the 2 sessions on Sundays also start at 9. But we can open more sessions if we have high demand.
And the sessions are out at Waka. Why did you choose that lake?
Waka Lake offers a very nice location. Right now, there is a rowing club in Prince Albert and one in Saskatoon that is close by. Both are affected by a river. So it depends whether the river is too high, too fast, too low. That affects the rowing in that site. So for this one, being the lake, it offers the perfect conditions.
If someone is looking to find out more information or maybe put in their name and sign up, is there a website or a social media page that they can go to?
Yeah, they can visit the Waka Fitness Center website. That is wakafitness.ca, and the link to register is right there. This is a partnership between Prince Albert Rowing Club, Sask Rowing, and the Waka Fitness Center project.
Hey, sounds good. Well, thank you for explaining that.
Coming up after the break, Jeff has a look at weather, plus a high schooler's prototype that's got the attention of the medical industry. Well, Jeff, hopefully you got all your TV watching out of the way during the week, because the weather's looking pretty nice, I understand, for the weekend.
Things are starting to shape up pretty nicely right across the prairies. And certainly, in many parts of Canada, it looks like that is the case. But there's still a few flies in the ointment. But let's get closer to home right now. We can say if your travels are taking you out to British Columbia, for those people who are heading out that way, things are really, I'll say, calming down, but in terms of warming up, a real bump up in temperatures. And in fact, we're going to see temperatures on the west coast, on the south coast area, that almost as warm or close to, let's say, pretty much the same as it is in the interior, and that's pretty rare. So we've got ourselves some very nice conditions out in British Columbia. Across the prairie provinces, well, we've got this trough line right now, and you can certainly see all that active weather sort of slinking along there. That's expected to calm down a little bit. Now, tomorrow is going to be a windy day across the prairies, and heading out into places like Ontario, low pressure centers moving off into across the Great Lakes, and so we do expect some unsettled conditions. And out in the Maritimes, it's going to be hot and humid in the Maritimes and the other parts of Atlantic Canada. In other words, Newfoundland is going to be a bit on the cool side. So a mixed bag of things, but across the prairies, it looks like things are really starting to shape up. So here's that low that we've been dealing with. That low is continuing to move off, and on the backhand side of it, still some cold Arctic air being dragged down by it. So keeping things on the cool cool side for at least one more day, but then things start to warm up as we make our way into the weekend. Here we go. Single-digit temperatures overnight for the Prince Albert region or the Lakeland region. 7 degrees in Spiritwood and the Battlefords, 8 degrees, 8 in Candle Lake and Birch Hills and Rostron and Melfort and Nipawin. Now, most places dealing with cloudy conditions or partly cloudy conditions tonight, and there's a slight chance of showers, and it's likely going to stay on the windy side, and that's true of tomorrow as well. So 14 degrees under cloudy skies for Spiritwood, 16 and cloudy for the Battlefords, 14 and cloudy in Candle Lake and Birch Hills and Rostron. A little cooler in the Nipawin area with a slight chance of showers. 12 degrees the expected high in Nipawin, and mainly cloudy skies or cloudy conditions in Melfort, and also 12 degrees the expected high. So temperatures certainly below seasonal. As I say, that low is still pumping colder northern air onto our region, but that's going to change. Okay, so for Prince Albert, 9 degrees with a slight chance of showers overnight. Winds out of the northwest at 30, gusting to 50. And then for tomorrow, a high of just 15, and that is about 6 or 7 degrees below seasonal. Cloudy and windy conditions, wind gusts up to 60 kilometers an hour. And then the 7-day outlook for Prince Albert, well, boom, back to seasonal temperatures. Saturday, 22 degrees, mainly cloudy skies, 24 on Sunday, 23 on Monday, 20 on Tuesday, and mainly cloudy skies those 3 days. But then on Wednesday, so not quite a week from today, but next Wednesday, a slight chance of showers and 18 degrees, and a degree cooler 1 week from today, a high of just 17.
And I'm wondering, Jeff, with gusts getting up to about 60K tomorrow, is that too much for flying a kite?
Depends on how strong your arms are,
I guess, or reinforced rebar for the frame on the kite.
I guess, sure. There you go. You figured it out there, Kenny.
We'll test it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, U Sports is rolling out women's flag football next year as a pilot program, and women's flag football players at the University of Regina are thrilled by the news. According to a U Sports release earlier this month, women's flag football has an already established national collegiate championship structure in Canada, with the latest championship featuring 11 teams from across the country. Women's varsity flag football has been around since 2021 in Quebec's RSEQ.
Everyone's really excited. This is something we've kind of been striving for a long time. We've had other programs we competed against in Quebec and Ontario that kind of had these developed programs and are considered more of a varsity sport. We've been fighting with that varsity club for a while, so self-funded at the university, but still established.
Details about qualification, participating institutions, dates and locations of the league have yet to be determined by U Sports.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A high school student from Kitchener is helping make strides in the medical world when it comes to treating patients with darker skin tones. Her work was prompted by an experience her father had. Karis Mapp has the details.
Lenore Kaur may only be 17 years old, but she's not letting her age hold her back from changing the healthcare industry.
I was really interested in inequity because I think that often the devices we design are made for one group of population, and then we don't consider how they'll work on our diverse demographics.
Her latest work began from an observation she made after her father was hospitalized a few years ago.
Nurses were so overwhelmed that they struggled to monitor his vitals on a regular basis.
She developed a prototype in hopes staff would be able to detect heart rate without needing to put sensors on patients.
But when I started testing it on messier situations, so like with varying lighting or movement, or darker skin even, it failed completely.
Which made her wonder what other technology is failing those with darker skin tones. And she found a similar scenario in blood oxygen sensors, a problem that wasn't new.
Pulse oximetry bias was discovered by Dr. Tobin in 1990s. In darker skin, the oxygen saturation level is overestimated,
leading to higher mortality rates among dark-skinned patients. Back then, experts thought the bias was because of small sample sizes, which wasn't the case.
It's in the actual foundational math and physics that build up the signal models we've been using.
After developing a new algorithm, Core's research earned her the top prize at this year's Canada-wide Science Fair.
These are professionals who had looked at it for almost 30 years trying to figure it out and couldn't. She got the root cause of it and then identified a solution using algorithms that ultimately will be able to correct the devices that hospitals and people use around the world.
Her research already piquing the attention of industry professionals.
A large pulse oximetry company actually saw my project board and they got into contact with me. So I'm working with them to continue to get more data and test my algorithms out on their larger data sets to see if they work.
And in September, Core will head to Germany to participate in the European Union contest for young scientists. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Kitchener.
Healthcare workers from around Western Canada have gathered in Regina to brainstorm solutions to the challenges faced in the industry. The biggest challenge continues to be recruiting and retaining workers to stay in the sector. Author Raylan Douglas says the province is doing a good job of attracting new professionals, but continues to struggle keeping them in the workforce. She says it's causing investment to go to waste. All right, Jeff, this one's another time that I'm jealous of everybody on the news because a family in Sundridge, Ontario got a pair of unexpected visitors in their yard.
Charge me. What do I do? What do I do?
Right out of the water, a moose can be seen approaching this family's yard from the water, followed closely by its baby. The family stood back to admire the animals as they passed by safely. But Jeff, I wonder, maybe there was sort of those deck TV setups that they had getting ready for the World Cup that the moose just saw and thought, well, maybe this is the place to be.
Exactly. It's like everybody knows moose love a party.
Absolutely. And then if I couldn't be more jealous, I mean, imagine having a place right on the water like that.
That looked pretty sweet. That looked pretty nice, yeah.
Wildlife coming to say hello.
Exactly.
Obviously, from enough of a distance, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, so you're safe distance and always give them plenty of room to do what they need to do as critters.
There you go. Any predictions for the World Cup as we get started?
Yeah, there will be a lot of goals.
There you go. Do they yell shoot in soccer?
I wish they did.